Nothing. Just take it out. Hey guys, it's Ajad. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. A couple months ago, I made a video on the resume that got me into Amazon. I talked about the good of that resume, the bad of that resume, and the ugly. And you guys really ended up enjoying that video, so I figured why not make another resume critique type video. So recently, one of my friends hit me up asking me to review his resume because he's been struggling with getting a summer internship for 2021. He sent over his resume, so I figured why not expose him and make a video out of this.
Boom. Roasted.
In this video, I'm going to be critiquing his resume, going through it section by section, saying what things I would keep, what things I would modify, and what things I delete. I really hope that this brings a lot of value to you guys because resumes are so important. They are your first impression, your step into the door, and so having a perfected resume is essential. And so, without further ado, let's get to it. Alright, so looking at the first section, so I really like how he has his name nice clear in the center, Superman T Beast. Just so y'all know, I've actually went ahead and changed all the personal information related to him. I don't want to actually expose him. Really cool that he has his name nice and centered. He has his GitHub, phone number, and email. So 2 points of contact as well as a GitHub. Recruiters and interviewers can see all the code work that he's done before. To obtain a software engineering internship for the summer of 2021, there really is no point of having an objective. The first reason being, it takes up space on your resume, and your resume is so important. You don't want to waste a single line, a single word. Also, two, you don't really need an objective because they know you're going to seek a summer internship of 2021. When you apply online, you apply for the role of a software engineering internship for the summer of 2021. No one is confused. And also, your resume should speak for itself. It should show that you're passionate. It should show that you have experiences in software engineering. You shouldn't have to directly state that,
oh, I want a software engineering role.
No, you should be able to show that. Instead of having an objective section, he could put his LinkedIn on. That would provide so much more value because one, a LinkedIn is really nice to look at. People love looking at your LinkedIn. Make sure to put your LinkedIn on your resume. And two, it actually tells more information about yourself rather than just having an objective section. Just take out the objective section. Okay, so now moving down to the education section. Georgia Tech as well as Batman High School. One major important thing, never ever put high school on your resume. That hurts you so much. Basically what it shows is that you haven't accomplished anything in college that you would actually stoop to such lows and put your high school on your resume. It is just so embarrassing and so bad. For a software engineering role, does it really matter that you graduated the top 5% of your high school class? Does it really matter that you were in robotics team, debate team, senior captain of debate, choir? Like, what does that have to do with software engineering? Nothing. Just take it out. Also, don't put your start date on your resume. So as a recruiter looking at this, I see your start date, August 2019. Okay, so doing the math, you should be a second year right now. I have an application from this third year, and I have this application.
Ooh, second year, throw that out. Third year, yes.
A way to kind of like avoid this whole situation is by putting your expected graduation date rather than your start date. Now, this is very beneficial because rather than showing a lack of experience as with what a start date shows, this shows that, okay, I have these many summers to complete, so I'll be able to intern again, and then get full-time. It's kind of like a different way of thinking. Like your resume, you want to stack all the cards in your favor as much as you can, even psychologically, and that's what expected graduation date does. When I look at this resume, I see, okay, education. Right under that, I see Atlanta, Georgia. Okay, so you're studying at Atlanta, Georgia? No, I study at Georgia Institute of Technology. So I prefer, this is just kind of my style, putting Georgia Institute of Technology right under education. It draws my eyes directly to that. And I see education, Georgia Institute of Technology. Wow, that's an impressive school. Much more impressive than Atlanta, Georgia. What is that? Yeah. Bachelor's of Science, Computer Science, great. GPA 3.9, really impressive. Specializations, theory, artificial intelligence, great. Coursework is great. One thing I will say looking at coursework is he has semicolons to separate certain courses, commas to separate other courses. Just try to fix up any grammar or like comma, semicolon mistakes. All right, so looking at experience now. So once again, I prefer to have Research Institute right underneath experience, kind of draws my eyes right to it. One of the most glaring glaringly obvious bad things about this. Right under education, he puts Atlanta, Georgia. Right under experience, he puts research intern. This left column, what is it supposed to tell me? Is it supposed to tell me where you did this experience at or what your role was? This is really confusing. Try to be consistent with your headers. So what I like to do, I'll have the place I worked at, underneath that my role, to the right the dates as well as the place. So this way I'm able to be as consistent as possible across anything, including education, experiences, and even projects. And we'll get into projects later. Also another thing, he put summer 2020. Scrolling up to the education section, he clearly indicated months from August 2015 to June 2019, and now he's switching to seasons. Once again, try to be as consistent as possible. If you put months before, put the months here. You can literally put out June to August 2020, May to August 2020. Okay, so let's actually read through this. Creating a data set for wildfire prediction from satellite imagery and fire boundaries. Trained a neural network with TensorFlow to predict wildfire susceptibility. So the first thing I see, one verb that is in present tense, one verb that is in past tense. Okay, buddy, are you still doing this internship or have you completed it? Make up your mind. And so kind of looking at the content of this actually looks pretty bizarre. So whenever you state an experience on your resume, you want to put it in a specific format. What you did with a certain technology to do this. Like for example, saying that utilize Python library Pygame to create this to achieve this. So that's very important. Looking at the first bullet point, created a data set for wildfire prediction from satellite imagery and fire boundaries. What does that tell me? So you created a data set. Did you handwrite this data set? Did you upload it on Google Sheets, Excel? Did you put it in DynamoDB? What is this telling me? And in all honesty, as a recruiter, interviewer, don't care of really the content of the project. Just really care of your technologies and what you really accomplished and learned. We don't care what your satellite imagery or fire boundaries is. What does that have to do with anything? It's really cool that he mentioned TensorFlow and neural network. I just prefer to have that presented to me earlier rather than later. And also, I'd like to see, okay, you trained a neural network with TensorFlow. I'd like to see some metrics with it, like accuracy, precision, recall. That'd really help out and make this experience look really nice. Now moving on to the second experience, research intern in some research labs, summers 2017-2018, and then he's listed 2 projects underneath that. So did you do one 2018, one 2017, I'm assuming? Implemented a multi-objective genetic algorithm that optimizes camera apertures for depth estimation from a single lens. Okay, so this just looks like a bunch of cool sounding words strung together. It doesn't mean anything to me. I want to see it in terms of technology, in terms of statistics. Also looking at this as well as the experience above, some places you have periods at the end of your sentences and others you don't. Either have periods or don't. When you print it out and you have periods some places but you don't other places, it looks really weird. The next project, tune parameters of KPCA algorithm to optimize speed and accuracy of ship detection in satellite imagery. Introduce a pixel clustering algorithm to assess performance. Similar issue with the first one, weird sounding jargon that doesn't really mean stuff. As well as, so you have one sentence in every other bullet point but 2 sentences in this one. Yeah, that's something you gotta fix up. And also, if you're saying that you introduced a pixel clustering algorithm to assess performance, where are those performance metrics? I'm missing them, my friend. Show me. But anyways, let's move on to projects. First things first, looking at this, an issue with consistency. You have your dates as parentheses right next to the title of the project. In every other place, you have it as a bold to the right. Reading through this, completed a set of mini projects through the Odin project, an open source developer bootcamp. Coded a terminal-based chess game as well as front-end web game. What does this tell me? So this is the Odin project and you state that you completed a set of mini projects through the Odin project. What? Clearly there's something wrong here. The title is the Odin project, but you say that you completed a mini project through the Odin project. That's just weird and doesn't really make sense to me. An open source developer bootcamp. Okay, cool. The only real thing that you tell me is that you know how to use terminal. Congrats, but I know you know more than this. So either take out this project and put it in a different one. Also, you say front-end web games. What technologies did you use? What did you develop? Show me that. Tell me more about that. Instead of saying the Odin project and saying that you completed a set of mini projects, talk about one of those mini projects. Talk about one of those front-end web games that you developed. Show me the technologies, Talk about that specific experience. Don't talk about it in generals, because that really doesn't provide any value to your resume. Also, once again, you have 2 sentences in this bullet point, pretty inconsistent with everything else. Looking at the next one, what's cooking? So once again, the date issue, May 2020, move that to the right. Built a machine learning model. Oh no. Okay, so the font on this is different than the font everywhere else. I'm pretty sure everywhere else is Times New Roman, and this looks like Calibri, I think. Take note of that, especially once printed out. This looks really, really strange. Built a machine learning model to classify recipes by cuisine as part of a team using language frequency analysis and support vector machine. Why do you have to say that in your description that you worked as part of a team? Don't do that. Either state, like how I have it on my resume, that you were a team member or a team lead for a project right underneath the project name as part of like your role. And once again, this is a machine learning model. Show me the numbers. I want to see the numbers, my friend. This looks like a pretty cool project that you have. Don't just say that you built a machine learning model. Name drop the models. Make it sound a little more impressive. Activities and leadership. Family relations chair for a fraternity. Once again, the date needs to be moved to the right. Creating the newsletters to inform the parents about the steps the chapter is taking to prevent the spread of the COVID-19 virus on campus. Something is off with this. You have way too many of those. You gotta fix up this grammar. This is so hard to read. You never want someone to struggle to read your resume. After all, they only spend so many seconds on your resume. You really gotta make their time's worth. Also, I'll say on this point, having a fraternity experience, that's cool, that's awesome, but it doesn't directly help you out with the software engineering role. It's alright, it's much better than having any high school experiences, but once you develop some college computer science experience, just throw away that experience. So now let's look at skills. So languages is misspelled. Languages. MATLAB, Java, Python, Ruby, JavaScript, C. Okay, so great that you know these languages. Never ever use quantifiers. It's bad. You put SQL intermediate in the next line. Quantifiers, like I've said before, they hurt you.
So I see that you're a beginner at MATLAB. That doesn't sound impressive. You're only an intermediate at SQL? Oh, this other guy that I'm interviewing knows a lot about SQL. Let me take that guy and just throw this guy away.
You never want to give anyone the opportunity to do that. I don't understand why MATLAB is your first language. As a software engineering intern, you're probably going to be working in Java, Python, JavaScript. You probably want to put those towards the beginning. Honestly, you may not even need to put MATLAB on there. But other than that, I'd say your skill section looks pretty nice. Well, that's about all I have for this video. I really hope that you guys enjoyed it. And if you did, be sure to hit that like button and comment down below which part of this video you guys enjoyed the most. And lastly, just as always, for more content, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see y'all in my next video.